Hello, welcome back to my reading log. So this week's reading log, it's gonna be all about cooking, foodie manga, because I have quite that I need to read and catch up. So this is a new series for me. This one's called Today's Menu for the Amiya Family. Our main character Shiro, or Amiya, he's like a cook for the family. He's very skilled, and I think he's only in high school. So almost every day he cooks dinner for everybody. I'm a little bit confused about this family because it's mostly all girls, and sometimes they have visitors, I guess, coming from, friends and friends. And so far the story is really good. It kind of reminds me of Sweetness and Lightning. It's just straight all about cooking, having family and friends together, eating together, and just having a good time. Of course, they do list the ingredients and kind of show you step by step how to prepare these ingredients. I'm gonna be honest, it does look so repetitive, so sometimes I just skim it through, because at the very end the food always looks delicious and everybody is always praising Shiro's cook, because he always wanted to be, I guess, a cook when he was young. He started cooking when he was young for his grandparents, I believe, and now he's still cook for everyone in the family. It's a really cute slice of life all about cooking. It's mostly Japanese cuisine, and sometimes there's some Western cuisine as well, but other than that, this is just straight all about cooking. So I read 1 and 2. This story is by Type Moon, art by, is that Tao or Tak? Food direction by Makoto Tadono. Alright, so I got 1 and 2. I'm going to show you guys some inside. This manga, it has like that French flap. It's really nice, good quality, and the illustration is very nice as well. Here we go. It's just fun to read. Like, everybody's just having a good time eating his food. But he doesn't just cook. Like, his friends also cook, or his sister. Now, when it comes to the family, again, I'm a little bit confused. Either they're either cousins or a sister. I'm not sure. Pretty much Shiro is the only boy, but sometimes they do have, like, male visitor. But other than that, it's a cute story. I'm not sure how many volumes are out there, but I'm gonna keep reading this manga because, it's all about cooking, but at times it does makes me hungry because it just looks so good. I think I might try maybe 1 or 2 ingredients, but most of the time it's just fun to read. Sorry about the bad lighting. So this is where usually I put all my like foodie manga. Now the back is a series called Restaurant to Another World. I actually read all of them except the light novel. Next we have is Antique Bakery and Cafe Kijijuji. I'm not gonna read them because I'm still missing like 1 volume or 2 volumes because they're kind of hard to find. And then these I already read, and so the plan is to read these. Hopefully I can read all of this, so that way I'm all caught up. I start pulling them out so I can put it in my basket. And so guys, that's all my foodie manga. I do have another foodie manga, but this one is all about baking. I didn't have enough space, so I decided to put it here. Now, I'm not going to read this too because I'm slowly collecting the rest of the volume, so this way, I can just constantly keep reading. So yeah, the one I have, I already put it away. I'm going to show you my basket. Normally, this is all I put my manga that I want to read for the week. And so here it is. And then all of the finished manga that I read is going to be here. And so yeah. Just finished reading this new series called Baby Bear's Bakery by Kamen Tatsu, Part 1, Part 2. The bakery is owned by a small bear, so cute, so adorable. He loves baking all different types of cakes. And then one day he gets the same customer and over, and he would pay in coins, and he gets super curious and very happy at the same time because he's seeing a lot of things for the first time. And eventually that same customer decides to work under him because they start like talking more and become friends eventually. And so he's like the assistant and he's the baker. Besides them working together, they also venture out and do things that the bear haven't done or experienced before, like going to the aquarium and park, cherry blossom viewing. It's just so cute because he's so curious, and at the same time he loves to learn. And eventually, like, they went to the library because there's other things that he wants to read, especially about baking. And yeah, very cute slice of life about a bear and assistant just having a good time working together and eating cakes, of course. Then one day he was curious about an elementary school, and so he decided to teach a class about baking. And then eventually after that he stayed for a class and then was invited to go to a classmate's house, and of course he was curious of all of things that was around. And yeah, everything went well. All the kids likes him, and yeah, he definitely enjoyed and had fun being in school because he's just a curious bear, and of course he wants to learn because there's a lot of things that he doesn't know yet. His bakery, of course, is very successful. A lot of people love his cake. I mean, even looking at the cake is so delicious. So this is the same publishers from the last manga. It has that French flap, but the interesting part is like the quality of this manga is different from other manga. The inside is so adorable. Even the back is the same. And here's the back. I think it's just so unique how they made this manga, you know, because it's different from other manga. Other than that, illustration is beautiful, very simple. As you can see, the bear is so cute. These two are just having a time of life, working together, hanging out, and even spending a night together. I think it's just so adorable. And the bear is just a very curious bear and learning a lot of things that he hasn't, like, you know, experienced and known before. And yeah, it's kind of curious. This is the first time he went to the zoo. Well, I think it was a zoo. He never seen a cow before, and he was curious about how milk was made. So yeah, really cute and adorable. So this series already has 3 volumes. I think 4 and 5 and 6 are coming out. One in May, one in September, and one in December. So a little bit slow release, but you know what? Still cute. What we have next, this is called Ms. Kozumi Loves Ramen Noodles by Narumi. So I read 2 and 3. Basically, Ms. Kozumi just loves ramen. She tries all different kind of ramens, which I haven't even heard before. At the same time, her classmates gets influence as well. I think it's because they want to get closer to Ms. Kozumi, because not because she's, you know, popular, but I think she's just like a interesting person because she keeps to herself. She's sort of like carefree and doesn't care what people think. Besides, you know, she just loves eating ramen. She even goes to other cities just to try their ramen. All in all, it's all about ramen. I even learned something. I didn't know like Japanese has their own cold version ramen. Not eating cold soba, but it's literally ramen, but they use like a certain broth during summer. Because I also like eating cold ramen or, you know, cold soba, because during summer sometimes I don't have an appetite and I want something different. Now when it comes to this series in Japan, it looks like they already have about 12 volumes. However, here in the US there's only 3 volumes so far, so I'm hoping they continue this series, even though it's kind of like repetitive because all she does is eat ramen, and besides her friend kind of like sometimes follow her and sort of like curious what she does besides eating ramen. But they always find her in a ramen place, and then sometimes even though it's a sushi place, they also serve ramen, and sometimes she's there. And so it's not always like she always goes to a ramen place. As long as a certain place serve ramen, she's there. I do like this series because you just learn all different types of ramen around Japan, and it's just so cool that we have a character who just loves eating ramen. So I know it's been a while I haven't read this series. I'm going to show you guys the inside. Really like the illustration. The ramen here is so beautifully illustrated. I'm sometimes crave for it, but you know what, looking forward to read of Miss Kozumi, who loves eating ramen. And yeah, it's just fun to read. You know, if you like ramen, definitely try reading this. If not, oh, there's actually an anime, which I didn't know, so I'm definitely gonna check out the anime as well. All right, I just started another new series. This one's called What Did You Eat Yesterday, Volume 1 and 2 by Fumi Yoshinaga. This is a BL all about cooking. Our main character Shiro, who is the cook and a lawyer, and the boyfriend named Kenji, a hairstylist. Now, Shiro is pretty much in charge of cooking. He's also a savvy buyer when it comes to ingredients because he makes sure it is always on sale, and at the same time, he also makes sure that everything is used because he doesn't like to waste. Now, this story doesn't just focus all about cooking, but about their work life as well as family life. Other than that, this is just straight to cooking. It does tell you step by step how he prepares the ingredients or the menu. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I do skip that part because as much as I enjoy reading it, it's kind of like repetitive. I mean, I do cook, but not like very detailed like this one. But it's still interesting to read. So sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I do skim it, but at the end, it's always looks delicious. Now, this story does remind me of another BL. It's called Confession of a Shy Baker because the main guy who bakes, they have similarities with that guy and Shiro. They haven't like told everybody about being gay, only like close friends, maybe family. And so Shiro, he doesn't like to, I guess, blurted out that he's gay. I guess he's not yet comfortable. It's the same goes for the other manga. All in all, the story isn't bad, but I think when it comes to the cooking part, it might be a lot for me because this one really tells you step by step and it's very thorough, and that's why sometimes I just feel like this looks so repetitive, so sometimes I just skim it and I kind of feel bad because that is part of the story. But I'm gonna be honest, like that part sometimes is a lot for me. So this manga is very super wordy in my opinion. It's still fun to read because for me, I love the after where they sit down, chit chat about their day and how the food is tastes. For me, that's the best part. But overall, it's still not bad of a story. I'm probably gonna take a pause to see whether if I'm gonna continue because I am reading other cooking manga and it is the same, I'm gonna be honest. But this one, I feel like I've read from my other ones that I've read before. And so I was actually really looking forward about this manga because this manga has already about 20 volumes. If that's gonna be the case, then it's gonna be repetitive. I'm gonna be honest. And so we will see if I do continue or not because that's a lot of volumes to collect if it's going to be repetitive. And so let me just show you the inside. Now, this is a different publisher, but they have that French flap again. Really nice. All right, here's the illustration. As you can see, very super wordy because they do, step by step tell you about the preparation and the ingredients, but it's still fun to read, I'm gonna be honest. But we'll see if I'm still interested, and usually if I'm still interested, like I'm hooked and can't wait to read. But this one, I don't feel that way, so we will see. Of course, I just finished reading this series, another new series. This one's called Polar Bear Cafe Collector's Edition, story and art by Aloha Higa. We got a polar bear who runs a cafe. Now this cafe is a mix of animals and human as well, just coexisting very peacefully. It's so cute, slice of life. Now when it comes to his cafe, it doesn't really mention what he served. I think he just cater whatever the animals want and even the humans. But other than that, really cute. He's very close to a friend, Panda. They don't really have names. They just call themselves their animal name. So Panda actually lives across of his cafe, and so he basically spent a lot of his time at his cafe. But then one day Panda was bored and he realized he needs to do something, and so he got a job at a zoo being a panda, which is kind of cute. So he basically just being a panda, and of course you got all the visitors trying to take pictures and stuff like that. And so he only works there for like 2 days, and so the rest of the time he's either at the cafe or at home. But most of the time polar bear and panda are always hanging out. So cute, them together. This manga is just full of fun. They also go on adventures like trips, going to a sauna. They actually went to Hawaii, which I think maybe the author is from Hawaii, which is cool because Aloha Higa. And yeah, that was kind of like fun to read because I'm from Hawaii. I wish they kind of mentioned some of the cuisine because, this is all about like almost like food, but, Anyway, that was cute, a nice trip. Other than that, it's very simple. It just talks about their day to day, what's going on. And sometimes Panda is so bored and he just feels so lazy. He doesn't know what to do. And then Polar Bear and Panda just talk stories and even mention how the Polar Bear got into the cafe industry. That was nice. But as for the series, this one only has 4 volumes so far, so I'm not quite sure if this is a short series. But I was reading the back. I guess it says read the inspiration for the beloved slice of life anime. So there might be an anime, so I'll definitely want to check that out. It's a really nice manga cover and very thick, because I'm not sure if this is considered omnibus because it does say collector's edition. But yeah, as you can see, so adorable. You can just have animals and humans coexisting. And this is the time where Panda was at the zoo, and then of course Polar Bear tried to visit Panda, but then Panda was always sleeping. They also have a bear friend who runs a bar, so they check out that one time. And this story also mentioned about what's the difference with regular penguin, no, king penguin and emperor penguin, because I didn't know there's a difference. So really fun to read. So I'm ending this reading log with Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu. So it's original story by Natsuya Semekawa, manga Virginia ni Tohei, character design Kururi. I decided to stop reading at volume 2 because I've been having like a sleep deprived this whole week, and so I'm just reading what I can. And so I wanted to read volume 3, but you know what? There's a lot of things happening in volume 2. So Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu is a Japanese restaurant based in Germany. I would say maybe in the early 1400s. I'm not quite sure, because there's a twist on this story. They have this back door that leads to the future. So it kind of makes sense, because how did it get all this freshly ingredients that I don't think during at this time even have? And so I'm pretty sure they use the back door to grab ingredients. So it kind of reminds me of Restaurant to Another World, because this is all about just people going to this Japanese restaurant, having a good time, and sometimes you got customer arguing which dish is the best. And basically, you know, they serve Japanese cuisine as well as German food, because some of the food is in German, so sometimes I have to like check what's that German food. There's another new character that's part of Nobu, because she was caught almost stealing. However, she needed something to drink, and so in order to sort of have an exchange, they hire her as a dishwasher. But other than being a dishwasher, she also does serving here and there, and she's so adorable. And so now she's experiencing all this Japanese cuisine and other sorts. This story is just slice of life, all about having a good time, enjoying the food with friends and whoever with. And they also drink, of course, because sometimes certain food goes well with drinks or booze, whatever you call it. The customers are so casual. Some are regular, some are new, and some are just plain rude. However, once they taste Nobu's food, everything changed for them. They forget about who they are. All they think about is the taste of the food. And that's why I love about this type of story, is because I love to see the person's experiencing biting that food, and makes me want to eat, of course. And I truly love Japanese food as well, especially fried food. And most of the time I just crave Japanese food. So this manga, right now I only have 1, 2, 3 and volume 6. I'm slowly collecting them because this manga is a little bit on the pricier side. It has that French flap as well, beautifully done. Some couple pages is colored. Here's the back, and then here's some inside from the manga. Beautiful illustration. All the food is amazing. Everyone here just having a good time. Sometimes there's fights, but it's just simple argument, not a big thing. But other than that, I'm always looking forward to read this type of foodie manga because the food is just delicious. Here we go. This is all the foodie manga, cooking manga that I read this week. We got today's menu from Mia family. This is all about friends and family just having a good time eating together. Baby Bear's Bakery, all about baking, so cute. Miss Kozumi loves ramen noodles, all about ramen. Then we got What Did You Eat Yesterday? This is a BL. Our main guy loves to cook. Now this one, I'm so unsure. I mean, I want to continue, as I mentioned before. It's just that it's kind of repetitive at times, and so we'll see. And then another cutesy Polar Bear Cafe. Oh my god, love that story. And then lastly, we got Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu. I especially like this because I love Japanese food, of course. Okay, the reason why I really like Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu, even though the rest of the manga is also based on Japanese cuisine. Now, when it comes to Nobu, they serve a lot of fried food like tempuras, sashimi, sushi, and I really am a big fan of those cuisine because the rest is mostly like soup, dish that you don't see often. It's very like traditional during special events, and so that's why I really like Nobu, because it's something I would crave for, if that makes sense. So let me know if you're a big fan of Japanese cuisine or what's your favorite food to eat. So this week I started really good, reading 2 volumes at a time, and I kind of slowed down because I've been having a lot of like insomnia issues, so at times I'm just not in the mood to read and rather be doing something else. And so I did my best to continue reading, and that's why this reading log is kind of like coming out a little bit late. But you know what? I did it. So next week, I'm not quite sure what type of tea I'm gonna do. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading log. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.